power dynamics in their institutions, families, and communities. The kinds of skills justice-centered science communicators need are not anything like the ones being taught. We need to be able to relate, listen, work with conflict, and understand the role of trauma in the communities we serve. That even talking about science communication in this way upsets people who are hindering necessary progress means that this is clearly powerful work. But this is the work worth doing. We need everyone. Scientists need to participate in creating a new world, and to do so they will need to shed some of their traditional reliance on authority and objectivity to truly link arms with others engaged in larger struggles. This book provides some initial guidance on doing so. We need courage in our time of greatest need. We need to work in solidarity with one another, and this book will help all of us along our intertwined journeys. Eric Holthaus. Preface. This is a book written from the point of view of a scientist who has also been a workaday science communication practitioner for over 25 years. It is not a research book, not an academic tome, not a literature review, but instead an attempt to capture the grounded, lived experiences of practitioners. Despite a long career, I rarely find my experience and those of many of my peers reflected in the science communication research literature or in advice written primarily by journalists. The material and narratives the book contains come from those actively working on the ground, facing the daily joys and dilemmas of science communication on what can be emotional and contentious issues, while they are also directly accountable to communities. If you consider yourself a science communicator or someone interested in how scientists and other technical experts communicate research, my hope is that what I, along with the many people graciously willing to be included here, add to the conversation will be of use. You may be a traditional or non-traditional academic, work at a government agency or consulting firm or nonprofit, or do many other kinds of work. If you are interested in the topic, this book is for you and will provide an alternative to the conventional science communication conversation of the last few decades, which focused mainly on helping scientists connect with journalists and decision makers. To ease the listening, I would like to clarify two pieces of terminology. The first is that I use the terms science communication and engagement, as well as the occasional variants outreach, extension, and public scholarship, somewhat interchangeably. This language is purposeful. I have in my own career tried to separate communication and engagement, only to circle back to feeling that the exercise has not been useful. At its best, the science communication tent is broad, and I have no interest in being exclusionary. In addition, I use the term practitioner throughout the book to mean a person who practices science communication, whether full or part-time, in any context. The terms practice and practitioners are used to distinguish science communication practice from science communication research and researchers, where the work is done, whether at a university, in an agency, or with a nonprofit, is not a defining feature of a practitioner. In fields like law and medicine, the term practitioner is ubiquitous. It is not yet widely used in many science fields. However, as the sciences move closer to fields with distinct research and practice roles, taking up the term will be increasingly useful. I want to acknowledge that writing about anything in this first part of the 21st century is a challenge. We are on shaky ground.